Alright, so session 4 of this week. Did assistance yesterday, so obviously I failed the triple there on deadlift session 2. Afterwards, my hip was pretty sore. During the day after, it was okay. I could walk on it, but anytime I had to bend down to pick up anything, or I had like lying down, moving certain ways, I was getting like flags for my hip and my back. This might be a bit of a back strain, and that might take a bit of time. So I was thinking I might lose a week, 2 weeks, whatever, of training to what was essentially just an overloaded hip from being pushed too far, and I just failed that 260. So I did my assistance yesterday. So my assistance, I missed stiff leg RDLs. Or stiff legs, sorry. So I started my session yesterday with them. They were fine. Or my second session, I did 2 sessions. Did my upper body assistance in the morning, and then I did my lower body assistance in the PM. So I did my stiff legs, pretty light, just up to 80 kilos, which was the prescribed weight anyway, because I'm just building it up kind of week to week, nice and slow, because it's not been in my program, and I just want to in my program consistently. So I've got like a hinging movement, more of an isolated hinge for the hamstrings and the hips. And it was fine. A little bit tender, but not too bad. Then I did belt squat. So belt squat, as discussed kind of last week, I feel like that's been too heavy, and that's been like driving my quads too far, and it's just been overloading me to a point where I can't recover from it. So I've changed the variation to like pause, so tempo down and pause, just so I can limit the load a bit, but still work kind of that deep range. Because it's still a weakness that needs worked, but I'm not sure, like, pushing the intensity, just more weight, more reps is kind of the trick for it. So I'm going to use more of a tempo and a pause approach and see how that matches up with my training. So that was fine. I got full depth doing that. Managed to push the RPE fairly high on that. On the last set, I actually added weight to it. So the 50 was the way I was doing it. It was pretty easy by the second set, so I put it up the third set, and that was nice and challenging. So that was all good yesterday. So the plan this morning, so the new program, I'm going to make another episode discussing the next block, because I think it might be interesting so people can see kind of like what I'm doing with my training, what the thinking behind it is, how I use different training blocks, different ideas for different problems. So I'll lay that out in kind of like a loose term in the next video in the series. But today it was just to get in and squat. So at the start of the session, I thought I was going to have to box squat, because I was doing Hatfields and bottom range was sore. I could get into bottom range, but it was painful by the time. I did a lap of warm ups. So I did 2 shoulder drills and Hatfields as a circuit, 3 laps. And by the end of the third lap, I was getting into bottom range, comfortable enough on the Hatfield. So I thought I was going to be able to squat, but then I did 2 sets with a barbell and couldn't get into full range, full depth. So I was like I was going to have to box squat. But I did my first set. And it was painful, but I could get into range. Second set was pretty much pain-free. 140 was okay, it's a bit janky. 150 was pretty sore. 150 I ended up having the tempo it. 160 this set here I was tempoing as well. But still managed to get full range. But having the tempo it. So if you ever do have pain in like your shoulder or your hip or your knee or your ankle, a good way of like still doing full range but reducing the force required, thus reducing the probability of getting like a pain response, is tempo. So I was just using tempo just to reduce that kind of pain response. So I managed to get up to 160 for 4. So it's probably a little bit far away from, I've read out the program, so it's a bit far away from week 1. So it's not a physical thing, it's just a pain thing. So depending on how my hip and back are on Monday, I might have to elongate. So I'm going to write out 2 blocks, a 6-week block and a 4-week block. If I can get into the 4-week block, then that's what I'll start on Monday, but I'll just have to judge it. So I'll have a plan A, plan B. But yeah, just getting the session done today was the win, so that's fine. So it seems fairly functional. So hopefully I won't be losing too much training. I might just kind of delay what I'm doing 2 weeks because I might have to just take things a little bit easier. Alright, thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Like and subscribe and all that shite. See you later.